Hi, this is Hiroki Kuro. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I'll be talking about tips and tricks about startups. In today's video, I'll be talking about 9 books I personally recommend if you're starting a startup. So let's go on with the video. So I'll be introducing 9 books that I personally think that are good as a startup founder. I have 4 books that kind of tell you about the life and what you're going to experience as a startup founder. 1 book about products and how the industry adapts to new technology and disruption. 1 book about sales. 1 book about organization dynamics. And lastly, 2 books about finance and how you structure your company around which finance method you use. So number 1 book is Lean Startup by Ries. So this is the basics about how startups should be started, how to avoid large mistakes and run out of cash and waste your time on something that won't work. So it kind of gives you the methodology of how you should iterate and figure out success. Figure out the best way to go about this without using too much time and money. This is a great book if you're trying to figure out how your idea is going to work and how you can apply that and how you should go about going forward. The second book is The Startup Owner's Manual, written by Bob Dorf and Steve Blank. So this is a wonderful way of customer discovery and kind of also teaches you a way of how to understand, how to create your idea and like how to communicate your idea and brush it up. So it provides some frameworks and some practical steps to go forward. The third book is The Hard Things About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. This again is a famous book. It kind of gets you into the mindset or like the brain, like how the experience will be as a startup founder, the tough things that happen, the things that will keep you awake overnight. For some people, this is a really stressful book, but it is worth reading because it is likely that you will be experiencing similar things. So if you read this and you think, oh, this is unbearable, maybe you want to avoid starting your startup, or maybe you want to avoid going to an early startup. Number 4 is 0 to 1 by Blake Masters and Peter Thiel. So this talks about how you come up with something disruptive and how you enter the market, how you create your product, and how you assess the market. It will give you a lot of guidance over how you should go about when you have something very new technology, something's very disruptive. Number 5 is The Innovators Dilemma. So kind of linked to 0 to 1, but if you're starting something innovative, often in the sense it's a toy, it doesn't change the world right away, but it will eat the world eventually, and it kind of tells you how that process will go on. So it'll give you an understanding of how the world will change eventually and how the traditional companies will see you in the beginning. So this will give you some perspective of how the industry will unfold going forward in the future. Number 6 is To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. Often when you're going to a business school, they don't teach you about sales, which I think is a big mistake. Selling is probably one of the most important skills as a startup founder. I've talked about this in another video, so if you're interested, watch this video. But Daniel Pink talks about what sales is and why it's important. Book number 7 is How Google Works. So this is about organization and culture. I'm not saying that all companies should mimic what Google does, but it's an example of a large organization that continues to be innovative. So there's a lot of hints of how to structure your organization, how to build culture around an organization, how to find talented people. they write a lot of things that Google has tried and tested and proven. So it's worth reading to understand how to build such an organization. Number 8, Venture Deals. This is a classic book. If you're interested in equity finance, raising money from venture capitals, it's a must-read book. It's also a great book if you are interested in joining a venture capital. It talks about how a venture capital functions, how its organization is, how the business works. So to understand how to get financed by a VC, you need to understand how VCs operate. So this is a great book to understand that. So lastly, number 9, Rework. Rework was written by Basecamp, who they call themselves 37 Signals in the past. They are a bootstrapped startup. So they talk about how to grow their organization and their service without getting external finance. And this is really important. Even if you're not going to bootstrap, the mindset of how you want to keep your costs low and to not blow up your organization, expanding too fast sometimes may lead to a lot of problems. So what they say about their how to grow, how to build their organization has a lot of good advices that would apply to startups that are equity financed. A lot of valuable advices that would apply, especially since we see the economy going into a recession. I think this is really important, and it's a good way of understanding how to minimize costs and be healthy about your finance. If you have any books that you want to add to this list, please mention in the comment section below. I'll be happy to introduce, and if I haven't read it myself, I'll be happy to read these books that you recommend. Also, if you have any comments around the books that I've introduced, please write comments also on the comment section. I like to exchange opinions on the books I've introduced. I hope this video was useful. If so, hit the like button and please subscribe. There's plenty of videos in my YouTube channel, and I'll be presenting more videos going forward. So thanks for watching this video. See you next time. A lot of valuable advices